To hear a Sandhill crane is to listen to the echo of the Ice Age. Their voice isn't a simple chirp or song. It is a resonant, rattling trumpet that can carry for miles. This powerful sound is made possible by an extraordinary secret: a long, coiled windpipe tucked deep within their chest, acting exactly like the brass tubing of a trumpet to amplify every note. The rhythm of the day. The marsh wakes up to this sound about 30 minutes before the sun crests the horizon. The air fills with a rolling chorus. This morning fanfare is how the flock greets the light. As evening falls, they call again, their voices acting as a sonic lighthouse that guides every bird back to the safety of the roosting grounds for the night. A language of love and law for a mated pair. The trumpet is the sound of their soulmate. During their unison call, the two stand facing each other, throwing their heads back to the stars in a perfectly synchronized duet. It is a loud, beautiful declaration that reinforces their lifelong bond. However, the voice can also be a shield when a stranger wanders too close to their nesting grounds. The cranes issue a sharp guard call, a clear, rattling warning that this territory is claimed. If a predator, like a coyote, creeps through the grass, the tone shifts instantly to a piercing, frantic alarm that sends the entire flock into a state of high alert. The Marshland Architects, a story of devotion. As the marshes soften in spring, a pair of Sandhill Cranes returns to the quiet grasses they have known for years. Bound by soft murmurs and ancient dances, their life is a masterclass in partnership. Before the first egg is even laid, they begin a strange ritual, painting their silver-gray feathers with mud and decaying plants. This rusty disguise is their first act of protection, allowing them to vanish like shadows into the golden grass. A shared foundation. Their home is born from rhythmic, shared labor to keep their future family safe from rising tides. They build a massive, floating island. Working together, they scoop up marsh grass and stalks to create a sturdy mound. In a unique, graceful motion, they use their powerful beaks to pluck material and toss it over their shoulders onto the growing pile, while the male ventures to the outskirts to gather more. The female stands atop the mound, meticulously weaving the stems into a warm, shallow cup. These living anchors can reach 40 inches wide, a fortress of grasses reinforced daily to stay afloat. The sacred duty. Once 2 speckled eggs are nestled in the cup, a dedicated routine begins. The parents split the responsibility of incubation. Through the dark, chilly hours of the marsh, the mother takes the night watch, keeping the eggs warm against her chest. At dawn, the father takes his turn on the nest, so she can feed and stretch. When he isn't sitting, he stands as a tall, silent custodian nearby, ready to trumpet a piercing warning at the first sign of predator. The arrival of the colts. When the fuzzy, golden colts finally hatch, they are ready to run within hours. The parents become tireless, tender guardians, tucking the tiny chicks under their massive wings for warmth. They lead their young through the shallows, pointing out the best morsels to eat and teaching them the secret language of the water. In every shared meal and protective shadow, the story of the family begins again, a cycle of love built on mud and unwavering loyalty. As the family grows, the mood of the marsh shifts towards celebration. The sun begins to dip, turning the marsh into a mirror of gold. Suddenly, one crane bows low, its long neck sweeping the tall grass. It's a signal. With a powerful burst of energy, the bird leaps high into the air, wings spread wide like a silken gray robe. Another joins in, then another. They aren't just moving, they are celebrating. They pump their heads in a rhythmic beat, tossing tufts of grass into the breeze like sprinkles. To a stranger, it looks like a wild, chaotic party, but to the cranes, it's a language. They dance to say, "I'm here," to win a partner's heart, or simply to shake off the stress of a long flight. In this moment, there is no migration, no predators, and no hurry, only the joy of the jump and the beating of wings against the quiet sky. First journey. Finally, as summer fades and the air turns crisp, the family prepares for their most daunting challenge, the fall migration. By the time they are 70 days old, the colts have grown nearly as large as their parents and have finally mastered the art of flight. This first journey is a patient one. The call from the clouds, perhaps the most haunting use of their voice, happens high above the earth during migration. You will almost always hear the cranes before you see them. As they soar through the clouds in a shifting V formation, they trumpet constantly. This isn't just noise, it is a vital conversation. They call to keep the group together, encouraging the young, and ensuring that no one is left behind in the vast, open sky. The parents fly at a slower pace, matching the wings of their young. For the next 10 months, the chicks will stick close to their parents, following them along ancient aerial highways in the sky. They learn the final lessons of survival. How to find safe ground and where to rest their wings. From the first mud-stained feather to the final mile of migration, they remain a single unit, a family bound by the wind and the enduring strength of the pair. Whether it is a whisper of a bond or a shout from the heavens, the crane's voice is the heartbeat of the wild, a sound that doesn't just fill the air, but commands the landscape to listen.